Hi everyone, it's Alexandra from Alexandra Plans, and I am going to do a video today on easy ways that you can add embellishments or just decorate your bullet journal. I know that since this bullet journal community has really exploded in recent months, and Pinterest and Instagram really don't help with this, we have the need, I think, to try and make our journals look pretty. If you were to look at the original bullet journal website, bulletjournal.com, Ryder Carroll's website, the idea of the bullet journal is very simple and minimalist. No doodles, no drawings, and this and that. I had downloaded this great reference guide from tinyrayofsunshine.com here, and it just basically, talks about just the fundamental elements of what goes in a bullet journal. Your index, the future log, monthly log, daily log, having collections, and then of course having your bullets, your signifiers. What are the symbols that you're going to use in your bullet journal, and of obviously having symbols as far as how you're going to migrate the task. I'm going to put the link down to this below. This is a great reference point, I think, for those that are starting out in the bullet journal community as far as what goes into a bullet journal. And if you take a look at my April 2016 bullet journal setup, I include a lot of these different elements, okay? But again, in its original format, it's supposed to be simple. Okay, and so now when we've seen this bullet journal community really, come to life, and people are sharing their ideas, a lot of people are very artistic, and they've really made their bullet journals come to life. And I've also seen, though, at the same time, a lot of people, I think, feel intimidated by the fact that they feel like they can't make their bullet journals that pretty, or that it takes too much time, or oh, I just can't do that. I don't have an artistic bone in my body, and there's no way that I can make it look that nice. Well, today's video, I hope that I can give you some what I call like little bullet journal cheats, things that really make your bullet journal look fancy, but it really, like, anybody can do it. It's really not that difficult. Couple of my favorite bullet journaling pens to use before we begin. I love the Pigma Micron archival ink pens. These are the ones that I've used the longest. I am most comfortable with these. I love the 05 tip. I like a chunkier tip. I don't like the thin line as much. I've noticed that's my particular style. Again, if you go on Amazon, they sell these in a 6-pack with all the different variations of the tips, going from 005, which is really, really thin, up to this tip. Again, it's waterproof, and it works very, very well with Tombow brush markers. So like if you use this and then you go on top of it with this, like, it really doesn't smear as much. The Staedtlers I use, these triples fine liners, I do use them. I do find, however, that if I'm using black ink and I want to go over it with my Tombows, it smudges more, okay, because they are not archival ink, they're water-based. So if you're going to use Tombows with the Staedtler, I wouldn't recommend it that much. It smears when you put the two together. Not badly, but enough that I notice a difference. And then I've gotten the infamous Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pens. I got the 4-pack on Amazon. It comes in the S, the F, the M, and the brush. This was the original pack that it came in. The S is a 0.3 millimeter tip. The F is a 0.5 millimeter. The medium is a 0.7 millimeter. And there's obviously the brush pen. These I haven't used as much. These are India ink, okay, but they are waterproof, so I am sure that these would work well with Tombow dual brush markers. But for today's purposes, I'm going to use the Pigma Micron because I'm more comfortable with these. I haven't really had a chance to use the Faber-Castell pens all that much yet, but I have a feeling I will like these. So for today's purposes, I'm going to stick to what is tried and true for me, and that is the Pigma Micron, okay? It's the Sakura brand, and they have this in Amazon, again, like I said, in a 6-pack for I think $10. It's not even, it's pretty affordable. So a couple of things. Let's start off first with lettering and some of the favorite lettering I like to use. And again, this is very simple stuff. Again, with lettering, it's going to take a little bit of practice to find the style that's going to work for you. Again, these are things that I've found tried and true for me. The first thing that you see a lot in my Lister's Guide to List challenges are what I call like my little fancy font. And I just do them in all caps. I really don't use lowercase lettering with this because I like that like bold look to them. And it's basically, I'm gonna try and just making a chunkier line. Do the whole alphabet for you. And the great thing about this font is that you can really make it come to life. Trying to like sing the alphabet song in my head so I don't miss the letter while I do this. And okay. Okay, so that's basically this font that I use. It's my little fancy font. Now, what I like to do with this, just a really, really cool tip, okay, and this, again, these are little hacks that make your bullet journal look like you put a lot of work into it, and it's really a lot easier than it looks. What I like to do to make an ombre effect, I like to take 2 Tombow markers, one darker, one lighter, but it's in the same color family, obviously, so I'm gonna go with purple here for today's example. And what I do is with the darker color, I shade the top half of the letter. Just gonna go halfway through it. Just like this. Now the Tombow brush markers seem to work the best for this because they are so blendable and they're just fantastic to use with this. Okay, and the Z, okay? And then what you do is then you take the lighter color and you just blend it in the bottom half. Like, and honestly, like, how much time did this take right now to do this? This is not even, you know, and if you pre-plan your spreads, you save yourself a lot of time. So, bam, okay? So look, it looks like so pretty, and it looks like you put all this time and effort into it, and, you know, there you go. I mean, honestly, it's such an easy way to just make your letters come to life, okay? Another thing, other variations of the font, this one is my favorite. You also, I mean, cursive. It's a shame, and as a teacher, it blows my mind, but from what I understand, and this is in New Jersey, I don't know about the rest of the country, they don't teach cursive anymore. Like, there's no time in the curriculum to teach it to second graders when it's normally taught. So, and as a high school teacher, excuse me, I've noticed that a lot of my students don't know how to write cursive, and it's such a travesty. I really don't understand it. And so, I mean, it's something that I think needs to be brought back. But in any case, cursive is something that it's an art form, and it's a great thing. And I mean, just, you know, practicing it, you know, and I do little embellishments. I do, like, I dot my I's with little hearts, or, you know, stars or things like that. But it's something that should be practiced, you know? And again, it's one of these simple ways, you know, that you can really make your bullet journal come to life. Okay. Now, believe me, this is probably not even the correct way to do cursive. It's what I've come up with over the years, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I remember having teachers that their cursive was on point. It was like they took like a stencil and like stenciled it out. I mean, it was just perfect. Yeah. Yeah, or I could do the other way, but that's kind of like how I've gone. So cursive is another way. And then obviously also what I do, and you'll see this a lot in my Lister's Got a List, even just highlighting it with the Tombows just gives it like a little highlighter effect. Or if you want to do the whole faux calligraphy thing, you know, you go on the downstroke and you just color it in, you know? And there you have your like faux calligraphy. Okay, if you will. So that's another way. Also, another thing, you can make your type either very skinny or very, you know, fat. You could do all caps, small caps. I also do like a really kind of like a girly font. You know, little dots. I remember doing this like as a little girl, and I'm like, oh my god, this is such a cute little font, and I'm like bringing it back. You know, but again, this is not, I mean, these are just like the little details that just kind of make it come to life. Okay. Now, so that's pretty much it with, oh, one more trick with the Tombows that I want to show you. I was inspired by this Instagram account, Writing Bravely, and she is an English history, high school teacher, and I loved the font that she had used. It's like this like really chunky font, and she used Tombows, and she did like a quick little thing on Instagram on how she did it, and I'm like, I loved it. So with this, let's do let's pretend like Tuesday. Let's say I want to put like the abbreviation for Tuesday in my bullet journal, and I did this font for my spread this week. I'll post a picture on Instagram in a little bit. But what you do is you take, I did an ombre chunky thing like this. So what you do is you take your letters, and the letters have to touch. Okay. And I'm terrible at bubble letters, so this is a great way to cheat. Okay. So you take your thing, just write it out in all caps, simple enough. Then you take your pen and you highlight. You just go all the way and the border, just like that. Bam, instant thing. And then I'll take my darker, again, I'll do like, sure it's all colored, bam, like instant. And I'll come back here and I'll blend it some more, you know, but again, it's like instant, like embellishment. And I'm like, again, these are such simple ways to just bring in fonts that'll make it come to life. Okay, so that's with the lettering. That's so far that I've seen, that I've liked, that I've kind of come up with, that I think are great. Then of course you have your headers, and I mean, they've looking at Instagram and things like that, they've just gotten more and more fancy. I like to keep it simple. You know, you could just do, if you can draw basic shapes, you know, little rectangle, put another rectangle. You shade this in. This is as far as headers go. Okay, then you put Tuesday, you put, you know, the date like that. Even simple lines, okay? So like, I like to use this one, and with these fonts that I've showed you, you could do a nice, you know, and do the same thing with the tombos. Bam, done. Like, and it's really such an easy way to do this. And once you have the fundamental basics like this, you can really just kind of, you know, then you have like the classic banner, your standard, you know, rectangle, and you bring it down halfway. You know? And, you know, okay, so many different variations that you can do. I've done one with, it's the banner. And you put for 2016. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing this. I did a party banner theme. Okay, and these really don't take, these are not things like, if you draw triangles, rectangles, and things like that, it's really such an easy way to make these things come to life. Okay, again, these are very, 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 very basic. I mean, I've seen, like, you know, they could do full-blown illustrations, and it's great if you can, but I feel like a lot of people in the bullet journal community kind of get intimidated, and there's no need to be. See, look, it's not even perfect, but you know what? There's a beauty in the imperfections. It's what makes it your own. You know, so okay, and even as frames, I'm always a big fan of the thought bubbles. Okay, of the little, like, the comic book strip, but these remind me of, like, the bam, kaboom, you know, like that. Again, the banners, okay, just to make it look like it's a piece of paper that's pinned on something. Okay. So yeah, as far as headers go, it can be really, really simple. And if you take the fundamental basics of what you have here in your cursive and your fonts, and you develop more as time goes on, I think it's really, really cool. Lastly, okay, our separators, things to separate them out. Again, it could be really, really simple. I do squiggly lines. I do little, like, I don't know, twirly spiral kind of things. More pointed, okay? You could even do like a thing here and just add little leaves, okay? These are very simple things here that make it, give it a little pop. But again, they're not, you know, you don't have to be an artist to do this. This is, you know, typical everyday, you know, shapes. And even if you take something like this and you can draw, you know, like this, spiral it around. Look, all of a sudden, you have like a little, you know, you do like a little to-do. Obviously not that small, but you get the idea. So if you take even fundamental shapes and you just put them together, you get these little cute little doodles that look like, oh wow, you can draw. And it really doesn't take a lot of skill, you know? Or even here, you just take a little, you know, a little ribbon. Okay, the infamous arrow that we see everywhere. Okay. Again, these could also be used for headers, for separators. Put a couple little dots, a couple little lines, a couple little lines, a couple little dots. And there you go. I even like to do even dots and dashes. Easy separator. Or lastly, one of my favorites, just a shape that you like. Hearts, stars, you know, triangles, like this. Okay, and again, easy ways that you can bring your bullet journal to life by obviously one, practicing your lettering, coming up with easy banners. They don't have to be, you know, so intricate. I mean, there is, I think, something nice about it, just kind of keeping it simple and then using color like this with Tombow brush markers or Staedtlers or things like that to bring color. Even if you use weather icons, you know, even drawing like a simple sun and making it yellow, or the clouds and making it blue. These are just simple ways to add color to your bullet journal without making it simple, keeping it simple, bringing the color in, making it a little artistic, but again, you make it your own, and I think that is what is the most important thing here. But even practicing little frames, headers, your writing, separators, which are easy, little doodles and things like that. These are simple ways that you can bring your bullet journal to life. And the best thing is just experiment. It's the only way, like with trial and error, that you're really gonna find out what works for you. You know, I discovered this little trick here and I loved it, and I used it in my bullet journal here for this video. I'll give you a quick little sneak peek, okay? But again, like, look at how like colorful it is, and it's, you know, it's a little trick. And I used the little squiggly line separator. I highlighted it with Tombows, but it's these cute little things that kind of just make it your own and make it fun and vibrant. And again, you're gonna be the one looking back at your bullet journal, and you know, I wanna look back at mine, I know, and just feel happy looking at my pages. So these little tips and tricks that you can use to bring your bullet journal to life. So if you have any questions or comments, or if there's anything else that you, as far as future videos that you want me to do, please comment down below. This was a requested one about how, you know, to decorate your journal and make it more fun. So I accepted the challenge, and again, practice. And again, you don't have to be an artist. These are not really artistic things. It's just simple shapes and use of color to make it come to life. And so that is all for today. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please visit my blog at alexandraplans.com and follow me on Instagram. And that is it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.